insight on this ANC NEC meeting. We're joined by political analyst and broadcaster Lukwana Mguni, who's with us here in Hyde Park, Johannesburg. So, Lukwana, let's begin first with the former president now making public comments about the strength or lack of strength, shall we put it, of the SG's office, days after Jill Neshitenza basically also accused Ace Magashule of being part of the weakening of the ANC. Does Mbeki's commentary shift things at all?
I don't think it does, but it of course strengthens those who want to see the Secretary General relieved of his duties and made to step aside. Of course, it's unsurprising to me, Thembekile, because if you look at the history of Thabo Mbeki and Ace Magashule, he was chairperson of the Free State, but not a single moment did the leadership of then-President Thabo Mbeki find it worthwhile to appoint Ace Magashule as Premier of the Free State. In fact, all other people were appointed overlooking him, which was a clear statement of no confidence in the man. So I suppose even his rise to that position must have come at a time when, former President Mbeki would have thought, no, this is not the type of leadership. I mean, if you remember a video that circulated when he spoke at the meeting of the veterans, a consultative meeting of the veterans and stalwarts, where he said there is a tendency that has emerged in the ANC, and of course I've just seen a clip that was recorded in his input where he talks about this emergence of certain tendencies. Of course, these tendencies seemingly antithesis or antithetical to the organization. But for me, though, this is just another episode, another moment, but he takes it where it matters the most. Unlike Joel Neshitenza, where he writes in the media, Mbeki waits as a disciplined member, deals with this issue within an occasion that is fit for purpose, that being the National Executive Committee.
But every time we have these ANC NEC meetings, people say, oh, it's going to be fiery, it's going to be robust. And a lot of people are saying at the moment that it's all a great big bore, because when the statement is presented on the NEC outcomes, you go through a laundry list of issues. We're going to strengthen the Integrity Committee. We're going to deal with unemployment. We're going to deal with education. We're going to deal with COVID-19, but none of the fireworks that people expect. So is it all worth the hype at this stage?
We tend to impose our wishes on the ANC. We tend to impose our idea that the ANC is still capable of rescuing itself from itself, because somehow it seems even citizens are unprepared for the eventuality of the ANC leaving the seat of power or the ANC losing power in South Africa. And this is why I've started talking about us talking clearly and openly about a possibility of a future beyond the ANC. Because then when we do that, we begin to prepare the psyche of society so that we don't put ourselves under this pressure not to have weekends, and we suspend our weekends and we watch a meeting that we are not even watching because we are not in it. One, we are not accredited participants, and we are thinking of the rumor mill as the actual. And of course, you know this, Thembekile, over years, a faction will try and be the one that leaks as much of the conversation to show up its position of strength, only to disappoint the public when it comes to the day of Tuesday when the statement is read out. The president has been doing something quite curious in recent times, making it open to the public when he delivers the closing remarks of an NEC meeting or a lekgotla of the...
Is that a power play?
It's a power play, but it's also a position of weakness on him. He is trying to buy the public into his agenda to try and demonstrate that at least Nindibone, I am fighting. I am trying to fight, but I'm fighting in the midst of muddied waters, and I'm not making progress. So he's trying to insulate himself from the deficiencies and the failures of the ANC. He can't. And when you talk about renewal, Thembekile, by the way, getting rid of Ace Magashule is not organizational renewal. It's simply removing a symptom of what has caused the ANC to find itself where it is. Organizational renewal is about the ANC rethinking how it behaves as an organization on electing people, for example. At Nasrec, the Eastern Cape was saying one member, one vote, so that you eliminate this issue of branches sending delegates who can be influenced with money and otherwise, or can undermine the mandate that they've been given by the branches. So all members must have a single vote when it comes to leadership. leadership. That would be organizational renewal. Currently, what we are looking for is just theatrics, really.
On that then, because we've got less than a minute left, we're expecting the issue of the local government elections to come up. We don't have a date yet, but we're expecting possibly at the end of this year. You've said already that South Africans don't seem to have an idea of a South Africa without an ANC in government. Do you expect any serious threat to the ANC's victory in the local government election? Because some are saying the opposition have so far failed to take advantage and make the best of a party that's eating itself up.
Of course, a minute is not enough for that. You can write a thesis on that. It's a question fit enough for that. But look, the reality is that the ANC was threatened in 4 metropolitan municipalities in 2016. I think that trend might continue. Local government elections are very different to national and provincial elections. So in some instances, in some communities, there are councillors of the ANC that are actually serving their communities quite well. But when you look at the broad overarching strategy at a national level, I don't think that the ANC is serving the country properly.
Political analyst Lukhona Mnguni, always good to speak to you about these many ANC NEC meetings. I'm sure we'll have another date with Lukhona in the coming weeks. Political analyst speaking to us about that 3-day meeting currently underway.